Hey guys, welcome back to the Roundtable Discussion. We're here at episode 4. The topic of today is Codex Escalation. Games Workshop, first and foremost, is a company that produces miniatures. The Warhammer 40k universe that surrounds the miniatures is an immersive and addicting strategy game. But the game system is not how GW brings home the bacon. It's the models, terrain, and accessories to the game. To entice players to change from their existing armies to something new, Codex releases have become a staple of GW strategy. Every year, GW releases between 3 and 5 new Army Codex books for the Warhammer 40k universe. With change comes a tidal wave of comments in the forums denouncing the new Codex as broken, sometimes for being too weak, but more often for being overpowered. The recent release of the Space Wolves Codex can be seen as the epitome of GW's drive to overpower a Codex. Is this a trend, something we can identify as Codex Escalation, or is this a one-off to appease their CEO who happens to play Space Wolves and must need the handicap? With me today on my panel is TonyPonyF and SolidSmurf. We're doing a little bit light today because Bootleg couldn't join us. So let's go ahead and do some intros again. Tony, you're up.
I got enough ego for both of us, so don't worry. This show's not going to be weak in it anyway.
Fantastic. And Smurf.
Codex is up!
He practiced that, people.
I did.
All right,
he was practicing before the show.
All right, question number 1. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being it doesn't exist, 10 being happens every time GW releases a book, how often does GW create Codex Escalation? And for this, we're going to start off with TonyPonyF.
I'm going to give it a 7. I would say after the Codex hype, like we are right now with Guard, and a 9 or 10 right now for the Space Wolves, which we haven't really been able to play test yet.
All right, but overall, would you say, like, just looking at the books in general?
7.
All right. Smurf, what's your take on this, my man?
Pass. I'm kidding. I'm going to go with a 6, because 1 out of the 5 books I've seen released, one out of the 5 books I've seen have been pretty beastly, not just on the 40k side, but in general. So I'm going to go with the mathematical answer with 6.
All right. And now I'm going to give you guys my answer. I think both Tony and Smurf are being a little bit light here. I think GW is definitely pumping at about an 8 for Codex Escalation, and clearly a strategy to try to get you to buy some new models. For the discussion here, fellas.
I would definitely agree with that. Are we going to cover this in question 2 or no?
Okay, well, let's go ahead and jump on to question 2. And question 2 is, if you believe that it does exist, and give a number above 4, that's all of us, why do you think GW does it? If you gave it a 4 or less, explain why you think that Codex Escalation gets so much attention on the forums. And really, that's for all of you guys out there that want video responses and want to give something less than a 4 or less. And for this, we're going to jump on question number 2 to SolidSmurf.
I'm going to go because they like it like that. And, I don't know why. Maybe it's for model sales, maybe not. I just figure it's because it helps them sleep at night and they can cuddle up with their models and smile.
Nice. And Tony, what's your take on this, my man?
I got 3 points. I think ideally they're trying to line up all the codexes with the 5th edition rule set. I think that goes without saying. And they want to give each codex its unique little niche that everybody will be like, oh, I need this new army, and jump on it so they can justify having all the armies. But in the end, it is to increase sales, and, they do put a lot of cost into updating the new codex and putting out those new plastics, so you really got to pump out those sales.
All right. My take on it is that GW does this because, again, it's all about the Benjamins. It's all about getting you to go, hey, I've already spent $2,000 on Space Marines, and now there's a new codex comes out, and it's IG, and they want that other $2,000 from you. I'm a little opinionated about it, but, Bootleg isn't here to back up everything that I needed him to talk about. So, for the discussion here. No, wow. All right, how about we do a follow-up quick question?
Go back.
Go ahead.
Let's go back to that.
I was waiting on Smurf to say something.
I was waiting on Tony. So go ahead, Tony. You're the guest.
No. Now I'm out my groove. You gotta go. Oh, okay. I gotta recoup my ego.
We gotta get Tony's groove back, just like Stella. Anyways, I don't think we can ever have a clear, why do they do this? Blah blah blah. We don't know. Maybe because they switch out riders and each rider has its baby and wants to have, its baby to perform well on the battlefield. It's just like a proud father. We don't know. It could be anything.
Yeah, you can definitely tell that. I mean, there's never really been a bad Space Wolves or Chaos Codex. So
nope,
there's a lot of love. There's a lot of love there for whoever's been writing those codices. Tony, what's your follow-up thoughts on this?
You get the guy who's like, I love you, and you're just like, what?
There's two reasons businesses stay incorporated, and one is to maximize shareholder wealth, which is clearly GW's goal right now. They are publicly traded in pounds or euros or whatever the hell they're traded in. But the other goal is to be a betterment to society and give something back to the public. And I think with a hobby-based company like this, it really should be more of the latter, and the sales should take care of themselves. But they're really being like everybody else and just like maximize shareholder wealth, get the sales up. We have to keep sales numbers continuing to grow. And I don't think that's the right reason to be in this industry, be in another industry, if that's really your goal.
So, okay, here's a good follow-on question. Does GW financially gain anything by doing this Codex Escalation? Tony?
Oh, absolutely, because, people look at it, what's hyped up is the tournament aspect. Yes, they hype up the hobby aspect and the new models look cool, but in the end, it's the tournament aspect, and you got to take a winning ball club to the game. You can't take, Demon Hunters. Sorry, they're not the newest thing, and they really want to sell that new army. They really want to get you into it, and then once you're into it, 3 months later, here's another one. And now you're going to hop on the bandwagon for this one because it looks unbeatable with your current army, even though it is. So I think it's definitely part of their sales. If it's sustainable, I'd say no, but we'll see.
Solid, your thoughts on financial aspects of the Codex Escalation?
I really, really agree with Tony that they put out their new baby, and it's like, hey, let's go buy them a golden diaper. And everyone's gotta play that new army. And it's sad. I wish I wasn't saying this. I really do. But, I mean, who won the last Golden Demon? Or not Golden Demon, the last Ard Boys? Who won the last, tournament?
IG! Go, Joe!
There we go. We can't make a good movie, so let's make an awesome army, So,
love the inside jokes here. Honestly, my take on this for the following question is that it does benefit them, but it's very, very short term. What GW doesn't realize is that this whole game is based on a 6-sided dice. So if you keep escalating the game, eventually you'll run out of sided dice. Everyone will be hitting on 2s. Everyone will be wounding on 2s and paying 2 points a model for each one of those. That's probably not the best way to handle it. All right, let's move on to question number 3. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being no issue whatsoever, 10 being a major problem, will Codex Escalation cause issues for the average 40K player? And let's see, who we leave off. I think, Tony, you're up.
We could start with you.
Okay, I'll start off with me.
We've never started with you.
Okay, so
it's a first.
So for question number 3 on the average 40K player, the answer is no. The escalation very
no's not a number, Dorme. We need a number.
We need a number.
We need a number.
Man,
we're gonna be like you now.
We
need a number.
Show. All right. Let's say on a scale of 1 to 10, it's going to be a 3, and that's because the average 40K player can't spend enough money to get enough of the more expensive models so that they can be in WYSIWYG formation and blow the bejeebus out of everything that they're playing. All right, next up, Tony.
3, no more, no less. 3 shall be the number to count to, and the number shall be 3. It was my number beforehand, and I got 3 reasons for it. New tactics, new rules, and new cheese. That's the only 3 things you got to worry about with every army. And I'm sure you're going to be playing one of the new updated codexes anyway, if you're going to play on a competitive scale. So you really don't have much to worry about except the new tactics, new rules, and the new cheese they're going to come out with.
Just the cost. All right, solid.
I'll go with an 8.
What?
Because, I'm going, 8. Because you're going to have those, in your gaming community, wherever you are, you're going to have your 2 or 3 players that play these new codexes. And yes, you have to learn the new rules. Yes, there's this. Yes, there's that. But you have to go into it going, man, now I got to face the most you go into it already demoralized a little bit, and you're just like, you're not going into it going, yeah, this is going to be a fun game. It's, I have to play with that army. So I got.
I totally agree. I'm almost of the opinion that for the average player, again, if you've gotten to the point where you have 3,500 points in your army and you can choose and pick and choose. I'm not classifying you as an average gamer. If you are there, you're kind of more of the top tier from at least GW's financial standpoint gamer, and in that case, then the number jumps from a 3 all the way to about a 10. And I think that every single time they post a new codex, they need to put a little chart in the back that says, if you're using this codex and you're fighting against them, you should give them this many points more as you go down the list. Further discussion about this?
So now we're introducing handicaps into 40K.
Oh, yeah, man. And, yeah, definitely. I don't want to go too far into that because that's going to be question number 4. But we have made unbelievable time here, fellas. Part 1, we've concluded. So let's go ahead and take a break real quick, and then we'll jump into part 2.